Welcome back to PlayStation Corner. My name is Alex and today we're taking my weekly look at 10 deals under $10 or your local currency, covering PSN stores in the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. Now I do say 10 games, but just kind of a heads up, rarely do I stick to that. There's always just too many deals to dig through. But with that luck, hit subscribe, join our growing PlayStation family and let's get started. So first off, before we do get started, a quick thank you is in order. Many of you would have come across from Switch Corner, but thank you. Look, we just got the channel to 1,000 subscribers, and as with the incredible support you showed me over at Switch Corner, where you just got us actually to 25,000 subscribers, you continue to amaze me. So first up today, I'm going old school, but a new all-time low for Mad Max with 75% off. This game is about 100 times better than I ever expected. I went in kind of expecting a cheap GTA clone, and what I found actually sat somewhere between kind of like GTA and Borderlands, with this great world to uncover, solid driving, fun combat, and yeah, it just absolutely captured the spirit of the movies. Reviews then as well, they were mostly positive, and while it did get, I will say, a little repetitive towards the end game, I just don't think you can go wrong at this price. So while I'm on movies to games and TV to games that just shouldn't work, let's cover a couple more I have for you today. First, Wick Hex. This is also a new all-time low with 50% off. This game, it's basically a play on turn-based strategy and real-time. Essentially, it's round-based, but everyone moves in unison. There is no way though I expected strategy from the John Wick name, and they just absolutely deliver in this entry. It's kind of small in its scale, but it definitely works for the character, and while it took me a little while to kind of get used to, I eventually ended up really liking the cel-shaded visuals. The only area that didn't work for me, it would have been probably the cutscenes. The final license then is Peaky Blinders Mastermind. First, rest in peace Helen McCrory. Sad news of her passing yesterday. She was absolutely incredible in the role of Paul in the show. But this game, look, it's another strategy experience, working instead kind of on this timeline system where you can basically fast forward and rewind time, building an outline of what needs to be done to be successful. It's a very weird format. I've never played a game quite like it, so I will say check out a review first, but I think it captures the spirit of the show and it really does deliver some challenge as well. I just wish it had voice acting to kind of reinforce the Peaky Blinders name and what is a very good story. Alright, so nice and budget now, matching its all-time low, but Metro 2033 Redux with 80% off, the cheapest game on today's list, but this is a crazy price and we see it relatively frequently, but look, still one of the best shooters of recent memory. You cannot complain. Not all out action this one though, it's kind of like a whole lot of walking, talking, exploration, but it just delivers this fascinating world where people now live in the subway systems of Moscow and mutants have taken over. The gunplay is solid as well, but my favourite way to go in this one, it's gotta be stealth. So with the new Oddworld dropping in just the last few weeks, why not revisit one of the originals with 75% off? This is new and tasty. It's a remake of Abe's Odyssey, and it's a side-scrolling platformer with puzzle elements. It is definitely dated compared to, today's standards, but the world, the characters, the immature sense of humour, it just hasn't lost its edge all these years later. The story then as well, it's a fun ride as you kind of uncover this sinister plot to turn the factory's slave labour into what are tasty treats. It's now going to be up to you to save everyone. RPG fans, a couple of new all-time lows for you now. First, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. It is rocking 85% off. I'm a massive Studio Ghibli fanboy, and while they weren't directly involved with this sequel, it naturally carries over the luck of the first entry, and just look, honestly, that was more than enough for me. Now, is it as good as the original game? It's not, no, but it's still a very good feeling RPG where you can expect a huge world to explore and you'll be joining a huge cast of characters to set out and found a new kingdom. It also has really good action combat as well. This is not turn-based. Then Tales of Vesperia is a masterpiece in the RPG genre. Tales is probably one of my personal favourite RPG series out there. This is my personal favourite entry, and it also marks the 10th entry. Another RPG then that is not turn-based. This is very much action, real-time kind of combat. It's an old game now, but I think still it stands up to this day, from the visuals to the music to the story itself. You basically go on this adventure which is all about overthrowing an empire that controls an ancient technology. With 80% off though, this is a new all-time low. It is well worth it, and this definitive edition, it throws in some new playable characters as well. So my pickup of the week then, meaning I can't necessarily recommend them because I haven't either played them before, or at least I haven't played them on the PlayStation, but I'm grabbing Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville. Now I've been playing this one a lot over the last month or so as it recently released on the Nintendo Switch, but I wanted to see how it runs on PS4 and PS5, and I'm also curious to see if the community here is still very much active. I've been having a blast with the game though. It's a fun cast of characters, some decent classes, good maps. It's kind of just like quick pick up and play matches, and this is a huge new all-time low with 80% off, so I imagine either way that's going to spike the community as well. Horror fans, Alien Isolation, the collection, is one of the best first-person horror experiences I have ever played. It's also one of the few games that for me just captured the Alien license so well. Just the imagery, the way they designed it, it just looks absolutely perfect, so I wanted to give it a quick mention. This though, it's matching the all-time low price with 80% off, and it bundles in the base game as well as 7 packs of additional content. That includes new chapters, Last Survivor and Crew Expendable, which features the original movie cast. Great survival horror though, as you play as Ripley's daughter on the hunt for her mother after a black box is discovered. So our final 3 games of the week then, we are starting with The Last Campfire, coming from the team behind No Man's Sky. This was quietly released, and understandably so honestly. They received a ton of backlash after the launch of No Man's Sky. Now, No Man's Sky is a great game, but honestly, look, The Last Campfire is just an absolute gem. It's a small, relaxed puzzle adventure. You move from like location to location. It's kind of a strange world, and you're just trying to uncover the story of a lost ember, which is your character. But I love so much about this one. The music is stunning, the world design is stunning, and it's just a very kind of chill and kind of relaxed experience. So our penultimate game of the week then, this is Dragon Ball Fighterz. It's an incredible 2D fighter, and it's a hell of a use of the license, and now we're seeing a new all-time low of 85% off. It's probably one of the best uses of the licenses we've ever seen, as it brings together a huge cast of characters all alongside a deeper combat system. It looks great though, the controls are incredible, especially if paired with a fight stick. And it's just going to be good as well for beginners or veterans. It's got a very good tutorial built into it. It was also created then by Arc System Works, which should tell genre fans everything they need to know. They are pretty much the king of fighters. Our final game of the week then, this is Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Finds a new all-time low price as well. Bandai Namco, they went big this week with their sales, but it's rocking 85% off. It's a great arena fighter. Now naturally the combat, it is relatively shallow, but what this gets so right is kind of the epic conclusion to the story, and just the scale and the flash of these kind of locations and what is occurring around you. With a ton of characters then as well, there's no reason fans of the Naruto name should be skipping this one. Now if you do want to spend a little, extra cash though, I will say you can also buy the Road to Boruto edition. I'll put the price for this one at the top of the screen now, but this may be the wise choice honestly, as it throws in all of the DLC content, as well as including Road to Boruto, which follows the story of Naruto's son, and it's almost this kind of like adventure with free roaming around this world, and it is very cool stuff. And that's it, another week down. Will you be adding anything to your library this week, or will you be skipping and saving that cash? I want to again just thank you all for the support and love you've been showing this new channel. It means a whole lot to me, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe, join our growing PlayStation family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.